Hey, hi friends, this is Bakapa. So far I have discussed a lot of things on the EasyRepro automation framework. You can go to my GitHub repository here and you will get to know the content, what I have got so far. So in this GitHub repository, you can go to the repository section, repositories. Then you can go to the EasyRepro automation framework. So here you will get the whole code of EasyRepro automation framework. And if you come down, here you will find the EasyRepro automation framework content. So far I have created 8 tutorials on the EasyRepro automation framework. So this is the 9th tutorial on EasyRepro automation framework. So today I'll be discussing about how to perform the data-driven testing in EasyRepro framework. So now I will navigate to the CRM application. First I will discuss the UI flow, then we will start automating the UI flow by using the data-driven approach. So this is a CRM application. I have logged in into the CRM application. That is our first step. Then after that, I will navigate to the accounts entity. So here I will click on new. And after that, I will enter some values in this account name. So I'll say just test. So this data we will be passing from the external data source. So after that, passing this test data, we will save the record. So this is our first scenario. And the second scenario is, so we will be having only one test case and we will be passing a multiple sets of test data. So that is nothing but our data-driven framework. So let us automate the first scenario. That is first time we will pass the one set of test data. So that will be our one test case. And the second test case would be, we will be passing the multiple sets of test data. Now I will move on to the Visual Studio IDE. So we'll start automating this particular flow now. So again, I will go to the UCI folder here and I will open the EasyRepro tutorial class. So before I start automating this UI flow, so data-driven testing can be performed from in a different ways, especially. So you can pass the test data from the Excel file or JSON file or XML file, or even you can pass the test data from the databases also. So in the today's session, I will discuss about how to pass the test data from the XML file. So what I will do now, I will simply copy this test method, that is our EasyRepro test file, which we have discussed in the previous tutorial. Then I'll paste it here. I will say method name as EasyRepro data driven testing. So that's it. So I'm going to assign this particular test to the tester stock group. So that is nothing but we have used a test category attribute. So this particular test will be belonging to this particular group. So after that, so we will create the one XML file so that our test data can be kept in that particular file. So I will go to the Microsoft.Dynamics 365 UI automation.sample project. I will right click on that project and I'll say add. And here I am selecting the new item. On the right side top, I will say XML file because we are going to create the XML file here now. I will specify the XML file name as testdata.xml. Then I will say add. So here you go. So testdata.xml file got created. So inside the sample project, if you go down, so here you will be seeing the testdata.xml file. So it has already opened here, and so by default you will be seeing this particular tag, and you need to specify the XML tag so that it is represented as the XML and followed by the tags. So I'll say XML tag. I'll specify the XML tag firstly. So inside this, we will create the sample test data. So here I'm specifying the first tag name as test data and followed by. So here we are adding the test data in between the tags. So I'll say tag 1 and here I'll say testers talk as the first set of test data, right? So similarly, you can add a number of tags inside the test data tag. So similarly, you can create a number of tags inside that particular tag. You can specify your test data like this: tag 1 and tag 2, and you can specify it. So tag name can be anything. So it is not a reserved keywords. So as of now, so this test data is enough for us. So what we will do, simply we'll log in into the CRM application. Then we'll go to this accounts entity. So we will pass this account name as, firstly we'll pass account name as tester stock. And here I'll provide different test data. That's under that tag 2. So this is our first set of test data. So firstly we will execute our test case with this particular test data and we will pass the another set of test data and for the same test case. So that scenario we will check it out a bit later. So this is all about creating our test data with the XML file. So now I will go to again our test method. So this is the test method what we have created, and so this will log in into the application and it will goes to the accounts entity and it will click on new button. Then after going to the form and it is going to enter the account name, right? So previously what we were doing, we were generating from the method, that is a random string, and we were passing on to the account name in the UI application. So this time we will read we'll read the test data from our XML file. So I will delete this part and we will pass this test data from our XML file. So that is our primary logic which is needed in this tutorial, right? So I will delete the rest of the stuffs which is not required. So that's it. So what you need to do is to perform the data-driven testing using the XML file. So you need to use the attribute called data source. So simply I'll copy this attribute and couple of parameters which is required for the data source attribute. So whenever you are performing the data-driven testing, so you need to use the attribute called data source. And the first parameter you need to pass it as the source of the data. That means in which format your test data exists. So in our case, we have the test data in the format of XML. So that's the reason I have specified Microsoft.Visual Studio testtools.datasource.xml. So this is a constant value. You need to pass it. No need to change anything in this particular first parameter value. And the second parameter is you need to pass the file path. So in our case, already we have created our testdata.xml file, right? So you need to get the path of that particular file. Right click on that file and you say copy full path and paste it here. So here you can specify 1 forward slash or 2 backslash. So I'm specifying 2 backslashes. After copying the file name, you need to add the one more backslash. So that's it. So we have added the source of test data. After that we have provided our test data file path. Then the tag name we have to provide. Let's go to our testdata.xml file. So our test data is there inside the test data tag. So that's the reason I will be providing the test data as a tag name in our test script, that is in our test method. So here I'm providing it as a test data. So if you have the different tag name, so this tag name is also the user defined one. So this is not the reserved keyword. So you can give any name in this place, right? That is nothing but our tag name. Even for the subtags also, that is tag 1 or tag 2. So this is a user defined tag names. So again, I will go to our test method. So now the part is we have already created a connection with this particular XML file, and also we have identified the data from where to pick this particular test data. So we need a mechanism so which will get the particular test data from this particular XML file. For example, if I wanted to read the test data of tag1, how do I get this particular value? That is our tester stock, right? So for that reason, what you need to do is you need to define one reference variable, that is a public test context. So this is one of the abstract class you'll be using it in most of the testing automation frameworks for tracking the to track the life cycle of the test method. For example, whenever the test is started for execution, so you'll be tracking for the pass or fail or skipped, or it can be ignored also sometimes. So in different frameworks, you'll be using this particular test context reference variable. So in our case also, we'll be using the test context reference variable. So simply I'll say get and set for that. So that's it. So by using this one, mainly you'll be reading the test results. It can be pass, fail, or even skipped. So similar way, we have specified our test data at the method level, right? So here also you can use the test context reference variable. By using that, you can read the test data from our XML file. So what I will do, here we are setting the value, that is our account name. Simply I'll use the test context dot reference variable dot, here I'll say data row. So inside this data row, you need to specify the tag name. So within the double quotes, you need to specify the tag name. So firstly, we will read the, firstly we'll read the tester stock. So I will be using the tag1 as a tag name, and I'll paste it inside the square brackets. So that's it. And after that, I will convert this into the toString. That's it, guys. So our test method is ready now. So let me summarize what we have done so far. So firstly, we have discussed the UI scenario. So this UI scenario contains, we will log in into the application, then we will be going into the accounts entity, then we'll be entering the account name, then we will be saving the record. This is our scenario. And firstly, what I did, I have created one method called EasyRepro data driven testing method. So for this one, I have added the data source as attribute, and followed by I have specified the source of the test data and the path of the test data. Then I have specified the tag name. So after that, I have specified one more parameter called data access methods dot sequentially, so that it will read the one by one test data from our XML file. Then we have created already our test data. So we have created our XML file and we have defined our test data within the tags. So that's it. Coming to the scenario, we have logged in into the application, then we are navigating into the accounts entity, then we are clicking on the new button, then we are entering the test data from our XML file by using the context reference variable followed by the data row, and inside the data row we have specified the tag name. Then finally we are saving the record. So that's it, guys. It's very simple. Let's execute this scenario, then we will discuss how to pass the multiple sets of test data to the same method. That means a single method, we will be passing the multiple sets of test data. So basically this is nothing but data driven framework. So let me go to the test explorer. So if you look at this one, so it is slowly getting started the test method. So already it has opened application. If you look at here, so it is entering the username and password. So basically it is getting logged in into the application. Now it will select the CRM application. So after selecting the CRM application, it goes into the home page of the CRM application. So once it is navigated into the home page, so it will refresh the whole page so that all the objects will be loaded. So now it has clicked on the accounts. If you look at on the left side here, then now it will be identifying the new button. So it will take few seconds because it might have found lots of elements because it is using the generic XPath. It is not using the page object model concept. So it is clicked on the new button, then in the account name it is entered the tester stock, then it is saving the record. So we have kept some wait time, 4 seconds. So it will wait for few seconds and it is closing the browser. So if you look at here, so it is our test is getting passed. So this is how we can perform your data-driven testing. So let us discuss how to pass the multiple sets of test data to the single test case. I will go to the again testdata.xml. I will simply copy the whole test data once again, right? So what I will do now, here I'll say tester stock, I'll say 1 and I'll say here 2. That's it. So I have modified little bit in the test data, that is a tag name one. So if you look at our tags, so tag names are same. So this should be your tag name, which you have to use it in your test case. And here I have basically specified the 2 sets of test data for the single tag name. So this is our first set of test data, and this is our second set of test data. Firstly, it will pass this particular value, that is a tester stock 1, and second time when execution started, it will pass the testers 2 as the value. So let's execute our script again. So it has to run 2 times. So again I will go to our test method. I will say run test. So you can try to perform the data-driven testing in the you can try to perform the data-driven testing by using Excel file as well. So it supports Excel file as well, and also it will support for the database also. So you can try those approaches and let me know if you are having any queries or any issues. So you can reach out to me or you can comment in the comment section so that I can respond to your queries. So if you look at our XML file, so all the things are same, including tag names. Only the data, whatever we have specified inside the tags, we have modified it. So that is nothing but data-driven framework or data-driven testing. So it has logged in into the application and it is navigated to the home page of the CRM application. So also it has clicked on the accounts entity. It has clicked on the new button now. So it is going to enter the account name. So this is the first value, tester stock 1. That is the first scenario it is got executed. And again it is launched the browser. So now it is trying to pass the second sets of the test data. So now we have logged in into the application. Then it will navigate to the accounts entity basically. Then it will take few seconds time to identify the new button on the web page. So this time it will pass the testers top2 as the value into the account name, and it will save the record, and finally it will close the browser. So it is very easy guys, so no need to write 100 lines of code to perform something. So everything EasyRepro automation framework will provide you, just you need to use that existing method. So if you look at the value testers name, it is a testers top2. So finally it is closed the browser, right? If I go to this test explorer and if I select the value, select this particular test method, right? So this is a data row 0, right? So when first set of test data is passed, so this is a method got executed, and if you see the count here, total 2 passed. So this is the first set of test data when it passed, and it is got passed. When from the XML we pass the first set of test data, so this is a method got executed, and when we pass the second set of test data, so this particular method got passed guys. So this is how you can perform your data driven testing in the EasyRepro automation framework.